About half of all bitumen produced from the oil sands is extracted through surface mining. That works out to over 1.5 million barrels per day of crude, which is about a third of Canada's total crude oil production. But how much do you know about Alberta's oil sands miners? There are 9 operating oil sands mines in Alberta, all located north of Fort McMurray, straddled along both sides of the Athabasca River. These mines are split into 6 different projects operated by 4 different companies. Suncor's Base Plant, which includes both the Millennium and North Steepbank mines. The Syncrude Project, which includes Mildred Lake and the Aurora North mine. Albian Sands, which includes Muskeg River and Jack Pine, both operated by Canadian Natural Resources. The Horizon mine, also operated by CNRL. Kearl, operated by Imperial Oil. And the Fort Hills mine, operated by Suncor Energy. Oil sands mines are all located in this part of the Athabasca Basin because that's where the bitumen is located close enough to the surface, typically about 30 to 70 meters below the ground. Every oil sands mining operation consists of 5 basic facilities. There's the mining pit, from which the oil sands is excavated, an ore preparation plant, which includes dry crushing, ore storage, and a wet slurrying plant, the bitumen production facility, where the bitumen is separated from the sand and water, a temporary tailings storage area, which is used for reclamation of both water and solids, and the utilities plant, which provides steam, power, and water. There are 2 types of oil sands mines: those that are fully integrated into an adjacent upgrader, and those that are not, either because there is no upgrader, or that upgrader is located too far away. Since upgraders produce a lot of waste heat during product cooling, integrated mines have the luxury of very hot water, so they will typically run at a slightly higher temperature. Non-integrated mines have to burn natural gas to produce heat, which can get very expensive, so they will typically run at a slightly lower temperature. Getting bitumen out of the oil sands requires 5 basic steps. First, you excavate the oil sands using very large shovels. The mined ore is trucked to a bulk handling plant, where the deposit is loosely broken up using double-roll crushers and conveyed to a slurry preparation plant. The oil sands is then mixed with hot water to produce a pumpable slurry, which is pumped several kilometers to the main extraction plant. Bitumen is then gravity separated from most of the water and solids, producing a froth, which still contains plenty of fines and water. This froth is then treated with a light hydrocarbon to remove most of the remaining water and fines, producing a relatively clean bitumen product. This bitumen product is typically sent to an upgrader for further processing, or in some cases, it can be diluted with condensate and sold directly to refineries. All mining operations produce tailings, which contains all of the water, coarse sand, fine solids, and any residual hydrocarbons not recovered by the process plant. So all mines have tailings ponds, where the heavier solids settle out, allowing most of the water to be recycled back to the process plant. Once the water has been removed, the solids are typically moved back to the mining pit, so the pits can be converted back to a natural state, like a park, forest, or even a lake. All oil sands mining facilities have tailings reprocessing plants or drying areas, which helps facilitate this reclamation process. While the general bitumen extraction process is the same across all operators, there are some differences in the types of equipment used. For example, ore storage facilities will look different across the operators. There are different ways to slurry the oil sands, and even differences in the secondary circuits used to recover residual bitumen stuck with the finer solids. These differences are driven mainly by operator preference and availability of capital, but can also be attributed to the differences in ore quality. Another major difference is the choice of froth treatment technology, which drives the type of hydrocarbons used to clean the bitumen froth. Some plants use a heavier naphthenic hydrocarbon, while others use a much lighter paraffinic hydrocarbon. This has a big effect on the design of the froth treatment circuit and will greatly influence the quality of the bitumen produced. Beyond the bitumen production plant, there are a number of different technologies used to dewater the finer solids. For example, composite tailings and non-segregating tailings, where finer solids are trapped within the coarse sand. Thickened tailings, where fine solids are dewatered using a thickener. Centrifuge tailings, where decanters or scroll centrifuges are used to spin out trapped water. And flocculated tailings, where gypsum, polymers, or flocculants are added to help dewater the fines, which are then spread out over a large area and left to dry. These technologies all produce a semi-solid substrate that can eventually be topped with topsoil and converted into a park or forested area. A more recent innovation is water capping, where fine tailings are deposited directly in pit and capped with water to form a wetland or even a pond. Reclamation is the process of returning all disturbed land, including the tailings pond and mining pits, back to a natural landscape that's capable of sustaining plant and animal life. By law, operators have 10 years to prepare an area for reclamation. Reclaimed land is typically monitored for several years, if not decades. Official reclamation certificates are only awarded once the land has been returned to the province. Combined, Alberta's 4 mine operators produced a record 1.6 million barrels per day of bitumen in 2022. While there are no new greenfield projects being planned anytime soon, each operator has plans in place for future expansion. In some cases, the new mines will replace depleted mining pits. In other cases, new projects will bring additional production online, allowing for continued growth out of the oil sands for many years to come. Before we go over each mining operation in more detail, let's take a closer look at the bitumen production process and some of the different technologies used in the oil sands. If you're interested in learning more about Alberta's oil sands miners, I would invite you to check out our in-depth mining course. The course includes a more detailed slide deck with maps, production profiles, and process flow diagrams for each of the facilities, a transcript of each video with links to references and further reading material, all in a downloadable PDF format. Details are provided in the links below. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.